What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Investing Bros Saturday morning live show. It is a great day to be in the markets once again. But in today's video, we're going to take a little bit of a different approach. We're really not going to focus too much on the charts or anything short term or even some of the biggest news happening over the last 24 hours. No, today's episode is all about talking to the newer crypto investors. Whether you yourself watching right now have just started investing in crypto, or maybe you're trying to figure out what's going on, or if you're listening to this and you have a friend you're trying to orange pill and get into the crypto space, this is going to be the episode for you as we talk about the 5 biggest things, most important things that every new crypto investor needs to focus on. If you nail down these 5 and stick to them, you are going to be profitable. So stick around for the entire episode. Make sure to smash the like. And if you are new, this is the channel for you. We are one of the faster growing channels in the crypto space, bringing you top level knowledge every single day here so that you can make more money in your crypto investing journey. Hit subscribe so you don't miss any of our content. But first, before we get into the show, we got to roll the intro. All right, T-Shroom, how are you doing today, my friend?
Better than I deserve, Tim. Ready to help educate some folks, answer any questions. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's a good day. Football is on here in America.
Right.
I love me some college football. Cannot wait to get into that. But today's show is going to be a little different, like I said in the intro. A little shorter. We're going to focus mostly on those big 5 keys to investing in crypto when you're newer to the space. Hopefully this helps out a lot of people. We'll do a little bit of Q&A towards the end of the show. But again, if you came in looking for up-to-date charts, what's the next couple of hours looking like for crypto? What's the breaking news over the last couple of hours? This is not going to be that show. We will focus on Monday on everything massive that happened this weekend. But T-Shroom, are you ready to just go ahead and get on into our 5 keys? I want to get into this and let people know exactly what they're going to be looking for. We're going to start off with key number 1. Everyone needs to be here, and this is simply joining a community. Crypto investing is not a singular thing. It's not supposed to be a lifestyle you live by yourself. You need to be involved in a community. And what I mean by that is surround yourself with a group of people who are like-minded, who think just like you, who want to invest and make their lives better as well, and be a part of that group. That's exactly the reason why we started this channel, the reason we have a very busy Discord, a lot of people in there, but ultimately it's to facilitate the beginning investment journey for a lot of people so that they're not in it alone. They're doing everything with a group. T-Shroom, I want to throw it to you and get your thoughts on this. What is your journey like, your story when it comes to community and investing in cryptocurrency?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is actually a quote that I learned in the Army. When I was briefly in the Army, they say, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. And I'll tell you, the investment world is very much not a sprint. It is a marathon. You're going to be in it for your whole life. It is a goal. It is a tool for you to accomplish your lifelong goals, right? It's not a get rich quick scheme. Those are things you want to avoid. What you want to invest in instead is your education and a community that are going to help you go the long way, not the fast way, with others. So yeah, I mean, being a part of a community is huge. Don't get me wrong. You need to trade. You need to learn to trade your own system. You need to create that. But you can look to your left and look to your right in your community and see what their systems are. Have them compare what your system is, what your rules for trading and investing are. And I'll tell you, especially when the going gets tough and you're down on trades, having a community there to support you is going to be so beneficial, rather than not having anybody in your life who can relate to trading or understanding crypto or even understanding Forex or stocks or whatever it is that you're trading. So community, huge, gotta have one. If you think that the Investing Bros is a community for you, that's awesome. We would be honored for you to be a part. If it doesn't seem like it's a great fit for you, find a community somewhere, whether it's just a group chat of people that you like and that you you can think that will give you a bit of a critique when you need it and tell you the hard truths when you need it. That's really what you want to look for. You don't want a bunch of yes people that just reinforce what you already think. So those are my thoughts on community. It's important.
Yeah.
You got to find one. We'd love it if you joined ours.
You know, it's crazy. Probably not everybody listening here went to college, but a lot of us did. You know, a lot of us went to college. Some of us dropped out early. Some of us went all the way. Some of us have master's degrees. Either way, you know, my journey in college, this concept, it reminds me of it. I am a very hardworking person. I actually spent the first 2 years of college working full time while also doing full time college. I barely had any time to do anything. I studied as best I could. I had good grades, but I remember every single semester, there was this almost feeling like I was getting drugged by a horse to the end of every semester. And it was just about surviving to get to the end, right? Well, I want to pause right there. If that's your investing journey and you feel like you're being drugged by a horse, that's going to be very easy to quit and walk away and just say, this isn't for me, right? That's terrible. It wasn't, teacher, until my third year of college that I really embraced the concept of study groups, the concept of making friends with my classmates, setting up times to get together, to study, to bounce ideas off of each other. And that third and fourth year of college really were like a breeze. It was almost like, man, college is not hard at all. This is super easy. I'm getting all straight A's. Well, the same thing, it can be applied to the world of investing and getting into the crypto space. There's so much information that will be thrown at you. You're going to get charts thrown at you. You're going to get news thrown at you. You're going to get fundamental analysis thrown at you. And if you try to take all that on your back by yourself, it's going to become overwhelming. It's going to become distracting. You are going to get lost, broken, and confused, and ultimately throw in the towel and get out of crypto altogether. And the reason I'm really big on this is we're kind of going to talk more about this throughout the rest of the points. But crypto is one of the last great chances for people to better their lives and create generational wealth forever. I'm not saying it's the only opportunity, but for many people, it's one of the last possibilities. The dollar is dying. The dollar is getting less valuable each and every single day, and that's only going to accelerate more and more. But if you can learn the skills of investing, of using cryptocurrency, the hottest and newest innovation in the world, to make generational wealth, you're going to set yourself, your family, and your future generations up for success. But again, doing it alone can become very taxing and very tolling, and ultimately most people end up quitting. But being a part of a group to get other people who are not only getting the same successes as you, maybe not the same, maybe not the same level as you, but they're also going to tell you their failures. They're going to tell you the things that they're struggling with. And that camaraderie of saying, man, we're in this together. We're learning together. I'm good at this. You're good at that. We're going to help. That is the recipe for success. That is, again, one of the reasons why we started this YouTube channel and our Discord. Well, we have paid memberships. This isn't even a plug for our paid memberships at the moment. This is simply telling you, if you want a community, come in every single day, be subscribed to this YouTube channel, join our free Discord that has over 2,000 other individuals looking to better themselves financially through the crypto markets. You can be a part of that community today, 100% free. If you want to go deeper in education, then we have some membership options for you. But this is simply a plug for the free memberships. Trust me, it is essential. 100% essential for you to be successful. Surround yourself with people. And hey, by the way, right now, today, some of my best friends in the entire world are people that I haven't even met in person. It's people in our community that I talk with, engage with. I get to know more about their life. I get to know more about their investing, and I consider them dear friends to myself. That's the cool thing about what community can do. That is point number one. If you're new here, you got to join a community if you want to be successful in investing. Number two, we're going to keep it really simple. There's going to be a lot of different ways to purchase cryptocurrency. You're going to hear exchange after exchange after exchange and place. We're going to keep it really simple. If you're new to crypto, there's two platforms that I believe you should at least start with for your investing journey. One of them would be Coinbase. It's the most intuitive and easiest platform to use. While the fees are not necessarily the best in the world, they're going to be better than going to some broker. They're going to be better than buying at like a Bitcoin ATM at your local Walmart. It is still the best place and most intuitive place to buy multiple cryptocurrencies. But the second platform, some people are going to hate, but in all reality, it's the best platform if you want to keep those fees low, and it would be Robinhood. If you get more advanced and you want to get into trading and other things, then we can talk about other platforms. But if you are just starting off your investment journey, Do not let people overcomplicate this for you. The two best platforms to start with are Coinbase and Robinhood. T-Shroom, what do you want to add in there? I know you're a big proponent of Robinhood. Maybe even for people who are listening to this saying, oh, I don't know about this exchange. Why would you say crypto investors should start off on Robinhood?
Yeah, well, we're not sponsored by Coinbase or Robinhood.
Nope.
Robinhood is a solid platform because it's been through multiple cycles. Coinbase has been through multiple cycles as well. But the thing about Robinhood is it's I think it's been around before Bitcoin was even brought about in 2009. Right, so Robinhood has stood the test of time. Of course, there is a risk in crypto that doesn't exist in some other markets like Forex and stocks, and that is platform risk. Right, we've had platforms like Celsius go down, FTX go down, and millions of people were unable to get their crypto for a long time, and only through complex legal processes were they able to recover it. And so, with Coinbase and with Robinhood, those are very unlikely to happen. And I would say one of the reasons is because they're publicly traded companies. FTX was also a publicly traded company, so you have to be careful with that. But ultimately, Robinhood been through multiple cycles, so is Coinbase. The other thing too is, Robinhood is backed by very big Wall Street firms, and that might sound to you like a very bad thing, right? If you're kind of more on the anarchy side, rebel side, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong. Robinhood may not be the platform for you. I like it because that tells me that they don't have any coins listed that are going to have some huge downside or potentially that could be delisted in the future. The coins that are listed on Robinhood have passed a certain level of regulatory scrutiny to where JP Morgan and other big Wall Street firms like Citadel, they feel comfortable having those coins available for purchase from Americans any day, every day, 24/7. Does that mean that all the other coins on Coinbase are going to rug and you're going to be out of luck? No. I think that the ones on Coinbase are great as well, right? But you are going further out on the risk curve. So when it comes to regulatory compliance, but now that Ethereum has an ETF, now that Ripple Labs won the retail side of its case against the SEC, the whether or not crypto is a security question has functionally been answered. Not 100%. Right, there's still definitely some battles left in that war, but functionally, that's that's not what most folks are considering when they're buying cryptos too much anymore. So Robinhood, Coinbase, great places for beginners. Right, you might be out there listening, being like, "Well, I can't get the latest Sui meme coin on Coinbase, or certainly not Robinhood." You're not a beginner, right? If you're asking that question, you're not a crypto beginner, right? We're talking about for people who maybe have only ever bought a Bitcoin ETF, right? Or maybe have only ever, bought Bitcoin on Venmo or Cash App, which, by the way, I would say those are not great options because Venmo and Cash App have much higher fees, especially versus Robinhood, which is essentially commission-free trading. You will pay a gas fee, but then, compared to Venmo and Cash App and PayPal, where you can buy crypto, Robinhood is far away cheaper, and Coinbase is also cheaper than those platforms as well. So a lot of reasons to like for beginners those two platforms.
I want to wrap this into a pretty bow. Again, there's a lot of people in chat. I'm going to address some of the questions people are asking in the live chat right now. If you're listening back to this after we finish recording it, this is not going to be for everyone. The more advanced you get, the longer you're in crypto. There are so many cool ways to purchase cryptocurrencies without some of the problems you'll get or the fees you'll get on Coinbase and Robinhood. But this is not for the experienced investor, as T-Shroom just said. This is for someone who's maybe just starting off right now. Now, a couple of concerns people are going to talk about. They're going to talk about back in 2021 early, there was a huge issue with Robinhood when it came to massive movement. People were buying up the GME stock like it was on sale like fire. And Robinhood shut down their exchange for I remember if a couple hours, a couple days. Either way, people did not like it. And ever since then, Robinhood has had this very bad name. I don't want to defend that and say that that's okay, that I'm completely fine with that exchange shutting down. That's not the point. The point would be, can we point to an exchange that has not done that, that's still around here? If you look at the crypto space, a lot of major exchanges that promised people security no longer exist. In fact, we're involved in massive scams, right? Robinhood, while it had a bad day, ultimately, it still was a good place. It's still a good place to buy, very cheap. See, people are also going to say in here, there's not a lot of crypto options. We're going to get to that later on this list. Newer investors don't need to invest in 147 different altcoins. They really need to pick a select few to focus on and make sure that they have a proper, healthy understanding of how to invest. And ultimately, the list that's on Robinhood is actually pretty acceptable. Doesn't mean it should be all there. Maybe you want to have both Robinhood and Coinbase. But ultimately, even the things that people are saying out against Robinhood, that's completely fine if you want to be that way. But for any new investor, we are not going to ever recommend new investors go getting into very risky exchanges or risky crypto ways to buy cheap coins. That is not a play that any new investor should be involved with.
Yep.
When it comes to Robinhood, the fees, are they the best? No, they are not. But one of the reasons why Robinhood is going to be around for a very long time is it is the exchange that institutions have chosen we're going to back. We're talking about institutions like BlackRock and Fidelity and ARK Invest, the companies that are owning or creating these Bitcoin spot ETFs. They are partnering with Coinbase, the exchange, to hold all of that Bitcoin and all of that cryptocurrency. With that said, there's an expression out there that often comes before a massive fall, but the expression is too big to fail, right? It's a scary expression, but this is one that I would almost apply to Coinbase in a very positive light. Coinbase has so much going for it. They are transparent with how money is flowing. It's kind of too big to fail. There's no such thing as anything secure about cryptocurrency other than cold wallets. That's a more complicated detail for experienced traders and experienced investors. But if you're looking for a peace of mind that your crypto will be held safely and securely, it's hard to beat Coinbase and Robinhood. That is why there are suggestions for new investors. We do not have any sort of sponsorship affiliate with them. Invest, educate yourself on it, continue to do your own research, as always, but those are the ones we recommend to all new investors. Start there, and the more experienced you get, then branch out into cheaper, more aggressive, and better options for your crypto purchasing.
Yep.
Let's transition, T-Shroom, into number 3 here. The third one, again, we're going to get into the picks here in a little bit at number 4. The third one, though, is a very important piece of information. This one is probably the biggest piece of advice, the best key to all investors, whether you're getting into crypto or stocks or anything else. But it's one of the first pieces of advice that I got when I invested in Bitcoin. It's do not invest more than you can afford to lose. What does that mean? That means when you invest in crypto, when you invest in the stock market, when you put your hard-earned, let's call it value. I don't even want to call it money, value. When you work hard, you create value. Well, how can you protect that value? You make sure you invest it correctly. I want you to pretend you're going to take whatever you're willing to invest, take it into your backyard, put it into a metal trash can, and set that trash can on fire. There's a chance you never see that money ever again. You need to be aware and prepared for that scenario. You'll never see this money again. So, whatever you invest, do you still have money to pay for your bills, to keep a food over your head, to feed your family, to pay your electricity? Do not ever dip into your major expenses to buy into crypto. Only use money you're willing to lose. That being said, I highly doubt, if you follow us here at the Investing Bros channel, that you will lose everything. I highly expect you to multiply your money, but you need to be prepared as if this money is going to go to zero. This investment's going to go to zero. And if it ends up going to the upside, that's just extra blessings. Do not invest a single penny more than you can afford to lose. T-Shroom, do you want to expound on that? I know that's something that's really important to you as well. One of the biggest pieces of advice you've gotten in your investing journey.
Yeah, well, right now, we're in the bull market, right? So there's volatility, right? But right now, it's an easy time to think, oh, prices are just only going to go up, because that's what every influencer's saying on YouTube. That's what a lot of, Bloomberg, all the way to Larry Fink over at BlackRock. Everybody's bullish right now, right? So that can inspire you to say, man, I'm going to take out a mortgage on my home, right? Mm-hmm. There's been some big voices in the crypto space that have advocated financially irresponsible activities like that, like going into debt to finance your crypto investments, because so many people have become very wealthy from crypto and from stocks and from other investments too. But that is not necessarily going to happen to you. even if you got the right pick, like Bitcoin, even if you invested in a great asset, it doesn't mean that you are going to know when to sell. And even if you know when to sell, it doesn't mean you have the emotional control to actually hit the sell button and take profit, right? So you have to be very careful. You have to be honest with yourself about your level of experience, and don't overthink it. Just invest in high quality coins, high quality stocks, whatever it is that you want to invest in, and don't invest more than you can afford to lose. If your heart rate is increasing when you're looking at your investments, and you're feeling extremely excited, and you're thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna be able to buy a new car. I'm gonna be able to, buy a new purse for my wife or whatever it is," that's probably a sign that you have too much invested. If on a down day, like the last 24 hours, right? We're going to talk about some of the news that's bringing crypto prices down. If you're looking at that, you're thinking, "Crap, I'm going to have to sell for a loss to be able to pay my rent this month." You have got yourself into an improper risk management situation, right? And the right thing to do maybe for you is to sell for a loss and take a moment to just recoup, rethink about what you're doing, and then come back to the markets with maybe 10% of what you had invested, right? So pay attention to your gut. Don't ignore that voice in your head that's saying you probably shouldn't have this much exposed to the market. Whether you're an experienced trader, right, coming back and re-entering, and you're not listening to your conscience, or you're a brand new trader and you don't even know what is an acceptable amount to invest, you have to listen to your gut. And just off the bat, if you have $100,000 net worth, depending on how old you are, right? If you're nearing retirement, you probably should have less than 1% of your net worth in crypto, especially if you're very inexperienced. There can be exceptions to that. Whereas, if you're young, if you're 18 years old and you have $100,000, it might be more appropriate for you to have 20, 30, 50%, maybe even higher than that if you have, certain convictions and certain levels of experience. But just entering the market and assuming that an 80% allocation of your net worth into crypto is acceptable, that is wrong-headed. That is a way to lead to financial ruin, right? Not just a little bit of loss, ruin, if you don't know what you're doing. So the good news is you don't have to overthink it. Just invest what you can afford to lose, right?
Yeah.
If you make $3,000, $5,000 a month, right? $500 to start with is probably not a bad investment. It's not going to get your heart rate going. You're not going to be thinking you're going to get a Lamborghini, but it's also a little bit of skin in the game just to see how money can move in the markets. And then 3, 4, 5 months later, you're starting to feel more comfortable. Okay, I can maybe start to make a bigger allocation here, and that's going to be acceptable to me, to my wife, maybe to a couple of friends who are doing something similar. There's nothing wrong with kind of circling the wagon, and that gets back to community as well. So kind of coming full circle.
Absolutely. And a lot of these are going to kind of wrap over. Everyone's going to be different. Everyone's risk tolerance is going to be different. There's no set exact detail that applies to every single person. Everyone's risk tolerance is different, but I'm going to give you a litmus test. This is the litmus test to know if you've invested too much and if you should be backing off your investments. Can you go to sleep at night without paralyzing financial fear? If you right now were saying, "Tim, honestly, I barely sleep because I'm always worried about my financial future," you have invested way too much money, my friend. If you go to sleep and you sleep like a baby and you are A-okay, then odds are you've invested the right amount, or maybe you could even afford to invest a little bit more. But never, 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 never go to sleep financially stressed out and anxious because of your investing. If you do have that, you've made a mistake. You need to back off here a little bit. Let's move to point number 4. And then we kind of dabbled with this during point number 2. We were talking about what exchanges. But this is going to be one that some people are going to disagree with. But I have just seen time after time after time people make this major mistake. They don't follow this rule, and they end up wrecking not only their current portfolio, but their future of investing because they end up walking away completely. Key number 4 is keep your picks simple. You do not need to have 100 different coins in your portfolio. You don't even need to have 10. In fact, majority of you really should only be investing in upwards of 3, maybe 5, but probably only 3 cryptos. And even that, we're not going to get crazy with it. We're not going to start looking into the top. We're not going to look down at the coin number 400, coin number 200. Most beginners need to stay in the top 10. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. It's hard to go wrong with that trio. A lot of you need to swallow your pride, swallow that greed, saying, I have to 15x my money right now. Do you know how good the returns are going to be on simple Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana investments? If you look at the 12-month chart here, go ahead and share my screen, T-Shroom, if it'll load for me here. There we go. I want you to take a look at what Bitcoin looks like on a 12-month chart. That's a lot of vertical white candles. On my charts, white candles are bullish. You're going to see occasional bearish candles, right? We had a bearish year back in 2014. We had a bearish year in 2018, and we had a bearish year in 2022. More than likely, whether we top out in 2025 and have a bearish 2026, or we top out in 2026 and have a bearish 2027, we're going to have another bearish year in the future too. But long-term holding of Bitcoin has been astronomically beneficial. There's no such thing as someone who's held Bitcoin for 5 years and yet they're still in loss. Now, some people are going to say, Tim, what about this rounding of the charts? Are we about to see Bitcoin round over and spend an extended period of time to the downside? That is not how that is going to work, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin is the future of wealth. This curve is actually more from, first of all, this was just so explosive. 09 into 2016, 2017 was so explosive. We can't keep up with that same trajectory. It's going to round off and start going more sideways while still climbing. But the other thing that happened in 2021 was the charts began to round due to institutional manipulation and suppression. Well, those institutions that suppressed us 4 years ago are buying in bulk right now. It seems like every single day, T-Shroom, we have a story about millions and millions of dollars of Bitcoin being purchased by another institution. This chart's going to continue to climb. I'm not saying every single year you're going to 10x your money. The truth is, over a 4-year period, it'd be really good every single time to consistently double your money. That being said, though, when you compare it to the rest of the historical investment models, investors are excited if they ever get 20% gains in 1 year. The fact that Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana are still probably on pace to, on average, 2x your money every single year are astronomical gains. Are those the same as maybe some crazy meme coin that does a 10x in a 3-month period? No, it is not. But you know what? Those riskier plays are for when you're more advanced and you have what I would like to call play money. Money that you're so wealthy, this money doesn't matter at all. This is the same type of money you might throw at the lottery, the same money you'd go to Las Vegas and just, play a game or two over there in Vegas. That play money is what you do with these high risk coins. If you're a new investor, the reason you're investing in crypto is because you want to build long-term wealth. Do not get complicated with it. Keep your picks extremely simple. Again, I recommend staying in the top 10, maybe stretching yourself out to the top 50, but keep it to less than 5 picks until you have more time to do more research, to pay more attention. A lot of you will not have that time to watch the charts and pay attention to news every single day the way T-Shroom and I can do that, the way a lot of people in this community can do that. Keep it simple at first, and the more you grow in your understanding, then you'll get more comfortable. You'll create that play money, and then you can get a little more risky. T-Shroom, anything you want to add to that one?
Yeah, well, we got Teslaroo has just become a member, so very
Shout
exciting
out to
there
Teslaroo.
from Big Teslaroo. Thanks for joining in. Seems like you're appreciating some of the wisdom here that we're trying to rearticulate. Look, we're not coming up with any of this fresh, right? This is all stuff that we have been in the market, we've observed, we've listened to a very wide variety of influencers from, folks in Wall Street at the tippy top of banks in the of TradFi world, all the way down to the most degenerate meme coin speculators, right? And there's wisdom in both places, right? There's people making loads of money in both places. There's also fools in both places at the heights of TradFi and clearly at the lows. So I would just say, just be careful. Remember that you work really hard for the money that you're earning, and ultimately you need to steward it very wisely, right? Don't look at crypto like a casino. I fear that so many people come in this cycle and they're going straight into meme coins. Can meme coins be fun? Yes. Can you get rich off of it? Honestly, probably you can't, right? If you're listening
Right.
right now, probably you can't. Now, there's some people who are listening who do day in and day out. They trade meme coins and they're applying trading methods that they learned in forex or in stocks, and they're making a lot of money, right? But don't
Yeah.
assume that you can just be a school teacher your whole life, or be a plumber, or be a airplane pilot, or have some kind of other profession, some other expertise, and think that you're going to come into trading, especially something like meme coins, which is hyper manipulatable. We talk about that a lot here, and that you're going to be profitable. Be very, very careful with that assumption. However, anybody can come into the market and buy Bitcoin and set themselves up for long-term financial success. And that's something that I believe down to my core. And there's these degens at the very lowest levels, right, of degen speculation, who believe that as well and hold and save all of their money in Bitcoin. We know them, right? And at the very top of Wall Street, we're finding, Stephen Druckenmiller said that today, or this week. Tudor said that as well, that he's big in gold right now, and he's in Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's a safe one, right? Obviously. Now, if we go out into further onto the risk curve, we talk a lot about Ethereum, Chainlink, right? Solana, AVAX, right? These are names where if you've held Bitcoin for a little while, it might be time to dabble into those and get it instead of buying Bitcoin on Venmo or on the Cash App or PayPal. Maybe you get a Coinbase account, maybe you get a Robinhood account, like we're saying, and you take that next step and go a little bit further out into the risk curve. Now, is Chainlink and Ethereum more risky than Bitcoin? Yes, right? By definition, they are more risky. They have a smaller market cap, they're less adopted, and in the case of Chainlink, they don't have an ETF yet, right? So there's less regulatory clarity, right? But you buy low, you sell high. You buy low, you buy when folks are not as confident, and then the market becomes more confident, and then you sell high when the market is at peak confidence, which we estimate, by the way. We weren't going to get into too much predictions, but probably the end of summer 2025, all the way to the end of the fall of 2025 is probably peak euphoria, right? When the market is most confident in all of the assets that we're talking about here. So, yeah, that's what I would say is definitely keep it simple. If you're newer to crypto, you should not be buying a coin every day, listening to a bunch of different YouTube videos, reading a bunch of blogs. Keep it simple. Whenever you have an urge to buy, just go buy Bitcoin, right? And when you have done a lot of research on a new coin, something like Chainlink, something in the top 100, then go ahead and diversify. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I think even wrapping this one up, trust me, bro, investing. It's funny because we're the investing bros. Trust me, bro, investing is a mistake. Do not invest in something because somebody you saw on the internet talked about how good it is. And I'm talking about even T-Shroom, Crux, and myself. We get to do this. We're blessed to be able to pay attention to the markets, pay attention to the news each and every single day. It is our full-time job. Some of you out there have freedom, whether you have a full-time job that allows you to or you're retired, and you're able to pay attention to crypto all day, every day. Those are the types of people who can do the research for themselves. They don't do the trust me, bro analysis. They actually dive into the news, to the charts, to the sentiment, and they choose multiple coins, some 15, some 20, some 50 coins that they want to invest in for diversification. I see people in here saying, oh, I violated rule number 4. Listen, if you have been invested in crypto for over 4 years, now this is your second bull market, you've been around the block and you know how to spot BS when you see it from crypto, then you maybe can start exploring more and more assets, more riskier assets, because you have a good, healthy understanding of how to call when they're good or not. Some of you have been around for 4 years and still can't do that. That's okay. Or if you're able to stay in every single day, whatever you're invested in, pay attention to the chart, pay attention to the news, pay attention to the fundamental analysis, then you can expand. But my best guess is most people who are listening to this and needing to process it, you have a full-time job. You have a family. You can't make your world revolve around the crypto markets, and neither should you. So for that reason, keep it simple. Only invest in 3 to 5 coins, ones that you can check in once or twice a week to make sure that you're aware of all things surrounding them. Invest in the ones that massive institutions are investing in. Just like a lot of financial advisors just recommend a simple investing in the S&P 500. Why? Because it's the basket of the most traded and most invested in businesses in the world. Maybe just use the same concept for crypto. The big 3, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. keeping it simple there and expanding your knowledge as you go is the proper way to get into cryptocurrency. But let's get into the number 5 point. And this one's going to wrap a lot of things together because people are going to be asking, how do I know what to invest, how much to invest, where to get into it? Learn and create a proper DCA strategy. T-Shroom, this is one of the best pieces of advice anyone can use. It saves a lot of people. For anyone who's listening here, maybe they're new and they've heard this term DCA tossed around. What does DCA stand for? And what is a simple strategy that people could adapt today to make sure they're gaining access to the markets?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to answer this in 2 ways. I'll give the theoretical answer, and then I'll give you the applied answer of my experience in crypto investing. So the textbook answer at DCA is dollar cost averaging, right? So let's say you bought into an asset at $10, and then that asset went down to, let's say, $5, right? If you bought at $10 and then you bought again at $5, your average entry is going to be somewhere in between 10 and 5. It's not going to be 10. It's not going to be 5, right? It's going to be somewhere in between. And so if you do that over a long period of time, you actually get much more balanced price exposure. You're not just dumping the advantage is that you're not just dumping all of your investment in at one time at one price, where you have a much higher chance of being wrong. Right. You have a much better chance of being right if you spread your purchasing over time and let time work for you. So that's the theory. The application is that I got hired at a crypto YouTube channel way back here in October of 2021, right? I got hired. I was a stock trader. I didn't know a ton about crypto. I came in and I was sold. Hook, line, and sinker. I understood fixed supply of assets. And so I was like, man, I'm going to buy a bunch of Bitcoin. And I bought it up here around $64,000, right? Well, that was bad. In retrospect, that was bad. Why did I do that? Well, because everybody in the space was saying that Bitcoin was going to go to 100,000, right? So I bought thinking, well, I'm going to buy low here and I'm going to sell high here, right? Smart. That's the right thing to do. However, it was the wrong thing to do, right? But what I did do right was I didn't put all my money in at the same time. So I got an entry here into Bitcoin. I bought here, but then I bought here, right? And then I bought here, and I bought here, and I kept buying and I kept buying until my average entry went from being in the 60s now is sub $30,000 per coin in Bitcoin, right? Yeah. So you can see that is a little bit it's a little bit complicated. You may not have stuck with me there. The point is that you can have time on your side when investing by spreading out your purchases of assets rather than pinpointing just one point in time, one price in time. DCA is what the big institutions do for investing for high net worth individuals with billions of dollars. It's what experienced traders and investors do. It is extremely common. This is not an exotic practice at all. DCA, know it, love it, do it.
Yeah, there's an expression in the world of investing called time in the market beats timing the market. Meaning, and remember, I just showed you the charts, there's not a single time period in the history of Bitcoin that someone who's held Bitcoin for 5 years is in loss. Time in will always be trying to time it perfectly. When you're trying to time the market perfectly, you're trying to buy every single dip and sell every single top. And there's not a human being on this planet that has done that perfectly. Even if you have years and years and years of experience, there's always different factors at play. But again, this whole episode is about talking to newer investors. It is going to be, I'm just going to let you know, until you learn more technical analysis and understanding of the cycles and how charts work, it's going to be impossible for you to know the perfect time to buy and the perfect time to sell. So don't even try to pinpoint that. Create for yourself a DCA strategy, dollar cost averaging. And that means you're not basing your purchases off of the price of the asset. You're basing your purchases off the time. You know, for everyone, it's going to be different. Some people have a DCA strategy where they put in a certain amount every single day. Like I've heard of people saying, no matter what the price of Bitcoin is, I'm going to buy $100 every single day. They don't care if the price is at 70,000, 65,000, 45,000, 85,000. They're going to stick to that one every single day, $100. As T-Shroom showed you, that keeps you getting a very good average buying price for Bitcoin so you don't miss out on any opportunity. Another popular strategy, historically, Fridays seem to be the best day of the week to invest. Some people just buy a certain amount every single Friday. Others, and this is probably the easiest one to do, is they budget out in their expenditures. They have their paychecks coming in. They budget, I can afford, let's say, $500 per paycheck to go into Bitcoin, and they just purchase on the day they get a paycheck. You don't have to worry about the price. You don't have to worry about timing the market perfectly. You just say, I got $500. I have $1,000. I have however much money you want to DCA. I don't care about the price of Bitcoin because I know this investment long-term is going to be very, very good. I'm going to buy right now. And honestly, that is one of the most stress-free ways to invest in the crypto space. Forget the price and buy with a DCA strategy. There are so many people who have made millions of dollars using that simple tactic. Going back to point number one, though, we talk about being in a community. While right now we're still in a DCA in time period, meaning continue to buy cryptocurrency, there's also going to be a period of time where it's hard to pinpoint the top, but we'll transition into what's called a DCA out, dollar cost average out. You got to be in a community to help understand better when it looks like the markets are beginning to top out. So we recommend following that one. But if in doubt, if you are sitting here saying, I don't know what to invest, when to invest, find a DCA strategy. We'd be more than happy to help you in our community develop one that's personalized for yourself. That is the 5 skills, the 5 keys that every new investor should have. I'm going to run back through them in case you guys are just joining. Number 1, make sure you are a part of a community just like here at the Investing Bros. Number 2, keep your exchanges simple. Don't get crazy with it. The top 2 out there to use for simple buying, Coinbase and Robinhood. Stick to those ones. Key number 3, do not invest a single penny more than you are willing to lose. Otherwise, you're making a massive mistake. Number 4, keep your picks simple. Do not go into 27 different coins. Keep it to 3 to 5. And the last one, learn and develop a DCA strategy so that you can have time in the market, and that will be timing the market.
Yep.
T-Shroom.
Yep.
It's 11:42. We're going to keep today's show a little shorter. So let's get some closing thoughts here and wrap it out. I know there's stories we're going to cover on Monday we'll highlight, but closing thoughts from you as we wrap out today's show.
Yeah, I have a meta thought on all of this because we have more than 350 people watching. By the end of this video may get 5,000, 10,000 views, whatever. You have to be aware that when you tune into Investing Bros in the future, we're going to be talking about things like we are predicting the future, like we know where the price is going to go based on the charts. We're going to talk about things that aren't necessarily DCA strategies. We're going to be talking about coins that are not in the top 100. We're going to be talking about exchanges that are not Robinhood and Coinbase, right? Does that mean that we're violating our own rules? No. What these rules are A, they're for beginners, right? And B, they're square one, right? So just because you get into square one doesn't mean you stay at square one, right? We have 2 sponsors right here, Blofin and CoinW. Those are exchanges that open up the world to trading, right? Trading is different from investing. Definitely understand that, right? And so these principles are mostly for investors, right? They can be applied to traders as well. But a lot of times if you tune into our show here at Investing Bros and you join our Discord, a lot of folks are coming to crypto with a trading context. They're coming and they're thinking about trading, which is not DCA. DCA is not necessarily you can use DCA in trading, right? But it's mostly you're trying to buy a pinpoint price at a pinpoint time, and you're trying to sell at a pinpoint price at a pinpoint time. You're not buying, and then selling. So I don't want you to think that we're going to be contradicting ourselves in the future. What we did today is really for the very, very new folks. Hopefully, if you're watching and listening and you're very experienced and you see people asking rudimentary noob questions, that you're helping answer them accordingly. So that would be my closing thought on this great top 5 list.
Yeah, as we wrap out today's video, thank you to everybody who's in here. Make sure to smash the like and hit subscribe. We will talk on Monday morning. We'll talk a lot more about the Donald Trump-Joe Rogan interview that just happened yesterday. We'll also talk about recent events over in the Middle East, where it looks like Israel is attacking Iran, and we could see some further escalation on that front. That is not a topic for today. We'll talk about that Monday. But I want to close this whole thing out and really make sure we're putting all this into perspective. If you're new to investing, or even if you've been investing for a long time, I want to make sure we refocus you as we leave you today. I was really thinking about this T-shirt this morning. At the end of our life, you and I are 30 years old. We're relatively young. Some people in here are a little younger than us, some people a little older. But no matter where you are in your life, when you get to the end of your life, what will you have want to look back and say that you have accomplished? I've never heard a story of people on their deathbed being praised for how much money they made, but rather you hear these stories of people dying and you see the hundreds of loved ones, people they've affected, both family members and other friends and individuals who that person just meant so much to. What do you want to leave behind when you leave this world? Do you want to leave behind a bunch of wealth, or do you want to leave behind impacts on the people around you? I say all that. This is a crypto investing channel. This is an investing channel. The purpose is to help educate people to create wealth. But what is that wealth for? Let's not lose track of the end goal here. If you want to make a lot of money to just buy a fancy car and to just say you're a millionaire, billionaire, whatever, that's cool. I don't know if this is the channel for you, because that's not our goal. That is not our focus. The end goal of my investing journey, the reason why I want to use my hard-earned money and invest it to make more, is to support and leave my family and loved ones something to build and create better lives for themselves and the people around them. Not just my family, but other people I come into contact with. I want to be known as the person who not only had created generational wealth, shared that generational wealth, and passed on love and lessons to everyone I come into contact with. I want to be on my deathbed surrounded by hundreds of people who said, I'm a better person because I knew Tim Warren. While building wealth can be a part of that, do not lose sight of the end goal. Otherwise, you will lose yourself in the process. In the Bible, it says that it's better to lose your life than to lose your soul. What's the purpose of giving up your character, your name, your family for the sake of wealth? You cannot take that with you wherever you go. Make sure you keep your eye on the prize. Focus even today on those loved ones around you. Spend some time with them. Give them a hug. Let them know you love them. And let that be your motivation as to why you're coming back Monday. You're grinding, you're educating, you're learning so that you can create that wealth to make their lives better, not just your own. With that said, love each and every single last one of you. Smash the like and hit subscribe. We'll see you Monday morning. Adios.